All right, part two. Setting the air management up. I'm still working on the rear suspension. Not necessarily the suspension, but running the airlines up and through. Underneath these, there's one on each side. Pop this little tab out. You literally just yank the tab out, and it'll look like this. Okay? So really, you just pop that out of there. I just grabbed it on the corner. You see I grabbed it on that corner right there and yanked it out. And I've got that come through right there. The 1/4-inch nut that's here, well, it's not a 1/4-inch nut, but anyway, this fitting here can come through this hole if you go one size bigger. What's the one size bigger? It's the second scratched one, 11/16. Either 5/8 or 11/16. I think I went to 11/16 on this one. And I made the hole just a little bit bigger, so that will fall through there. Well, the nice thing about that is with the new fitting on there, that fitting will not go back through the hole. So even if it gets pulled a little bit, it's not going to pull all the way down and out. Let's go underneath here, and I can show you how I got it all ran underneath here. There is some rubber grommets that are right here. I pulled the rubber grommet out, and then I screwed up by doing that. Hang on. Alright, had to pull that grommet back through there. Damn it. See, there's a rubber grommet. I pulled the grommet out, and then I cut a hole in it, so then that way I'll still have a watertight seal from anything splashing up onto it. Come down, I went ahead and mounted it to the sway bar. The sway bar is going to rock back and forth, which is going to hold this. I put this down almost to where it's touching. I mean, it kind of is touching just a little bit, but the suspension is going to be moving up and down. So I had to leave enough slack on this to be able to go with the movement of everything up and down. I just wanted to make sure that I had enough. I think pretty much that's all going to stay where it is. So, but I wanted to make sure that I had enough to where I'm not going to have to worry about it. I don't want to have to worry about my airlines. That's the last thing you want to worry about, is your airlines getting hung up or kinked up on something. So there's that. And if you guys are wondering, I took the sway bar link out, this bolt here, and I took the lower shock mount out, dropped this down, undid the 2 bolts at the top, and that's how the old one goes out and this new one goes in, just like that. I did have to push down on this. Some people would suggest taking apart more stuff. I didn't want to have to. Alright, so let's go back up top. Alright, and here we've got these coming up through there, and then what I'll do is take this, and this will end up bending over this way. Now what that does, I'm going to take, these are just little stickers that are covering these holes. What I'm going to do is I'm still going to use this sticker. What am I going to use the sticker for? I'm going to put it on the inside edge. I'm going to stick it down. Why? So when this lays over, it lays over onto that sticker and doesn't cause a rubbing vibration, if you will. Then on the underside of this, I dug out a channel that goes from where that is over. Because see, I did the same thing on the other side, and that puts my 1/4-inch line right here at the edge right here. So now I can take and put my airline in there. Let's get down in there. See, I put my airline down in there, stick that there, and be able to run my 1/4-inch airline in through here wherever I want. That way it's not messing with the spare tire. I won't have to worry about that later. This is going to end up routing back that way and up, so that I can run all the power once I get that. Once I get this set up and I have my airline in here, I'll go ahead and put the cover back on top of this, and that way I can go ahead and start installing all the air management. Alright, like anything else, you want to make sure that everything looks as neat as possible. So I saw in one video this guy did this, cut a hole in the side, that way these can stick through, that way you can adjust the dampening at any time. That way you don't have to worry about it. Did that on both sides, and then I went ahead and fitted this back in here. It's very simple to put this all back together and make it look neat and orderly. I got the 2 airlines coming up from the driver's side, and the 2 airlines right here and here coming up from the passenger side. So that's where those come through. And then we got the power all the way from the battery right there, so that we can wire everything up. Yes, baby, what's the question?
I was gonna say, what's this lump right here for? It's like an extra space for like a cord. Right here in the...
Oh, inside of it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, inside of anything, you can run a cord, put a power wire or anything like that. I mean, depending on what you want to put into a vehicle.
Right. Because I saw there was a little hole right there, and then there's a space all the way down.
Right. Right. We're not going to put anything right there, but by chance that we ever wanted to, then those are the kind of spaces we're looking for when we're putting everything else in, to be able to run everything so that stuff doesn't get kinked, stuff doesn't get broke or cut or, you know, mess it up. Because when it messes up, then it messes up the whole thing. So now that that's done, you can see how neatly those went in. So now our airline just kind of flows right around into there and up. We can put it wherever we want. Same thing on this side. It just, everything's nice and straight, and then we don't have anything underneath the tire. I've seen a lot of videos do it right underneath the tire, and it's just easier this way, as far as I'm concerned, to keep it out of the way of something that may be used. So there we go. Okay, next step is we're going to get the hard surface back in here, so then that way we can start mounting air management stuff. We got to try to make this so that we can still be able to use everything functionally. We gotta look at possibly mounting the air tank up top. That's kind of what I'm thinking. All right, readjusted. The front, the tires are actually rubbing on the inner fenders. That's as low as I want to go. I don't want to take the inner fenders out. The back one's the same. So now I'm ready to put the rest of the air management in. But yeah, it was a pain to adjust everything down. I think that should be done first before you do anything else. So I'm glad I was able to get that done, and now I can finish the air management. Man, I'm tired. It's time to go. We're gonna go eat. All right, day number 2, actually 4. I did 4 hours yesterday on the car to get what I did get done, and now I'm going to work on the air management, putting the tank and everything in. I've got an idea of where I want to put everything, but I've got I think I've got everything I need. Of course, it doesn't work that way. You think you have need, and then you don't. Let's go ahead and widen that angle. Oh, look at my water. Okay, let's put the water down here. We're not trying to support people that we're not supporting. I'm thinking I'm going to mount that up here to this bar right here. There's not enough room to mount it straight out like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it up, and I'm actually wanting to angle it and mount it up like that. That way it kind of pushes the tank out this way. Yeah, there'll be a little bit of a pocket behind it, but that'll allow me space to be able to hide whatever hell I want to hide back there. And it puts the tank a little bit more forward to be able to get to it. Also leaves basically from right at here down and forward for being able to put groceries. Also leaves everything off the floor to be able to still get to the spare tire. The compressors will probably end up going all the way to the back on both sides, with the leader hoses going up and connecting to each side. I'm still debating on whether I'm going to use the side mounts or the angled up port. I'm sorry, the side ports or the angled up ports for anything else. So let me get to work on this, and I will see you guys in just a minute, because the first part is just mounting all of this. And the second part is when we get into the nitty gritty. Thought I'd bring my wife something to play with while I'm working on her car. Brought you something to play with while I'm working on your car. I'm taking it like all apart. But no, I have to get in there to get a remote switch wire. So I got to find a power wire that turns on and off. And that's what I'm in the process of doing. So that was part of what I had to take out. So I'll leave that in here. That way, yeah, whatever. This is probably looks very unconventional that I'm laying in here. But this was the easiest way to get in here. All right, so I've got the power wire and the remote switch coming up from behind the back seat. It's going to mount right here like this. I'm going to put some black coping on this, so then that way it hides it coming up the back seat. Then I've got one power coming out over here to the fusible link, going over here down. I've got it grounded. I made a ground there. This will go ground to the pressure switch. This is power coming into the pressure switch. And then the same thing on the other side. It goes up across to the fuse and then back down to the compressor over here. It comes with these little covers. Where's the cover at? Here's the cover. And then these just clip right on there. But in case you were wondering, look at, I'm like laying down in here. I'm comfortable. I can stretch my feet out of the door. And there's a nice breeze. I've got both doors open. So, and then of course my canopy out up top, creating a nice space for me to be able to be in here. This is a whole lot easier to drill all the holes that needed to be drilled versus trying to come in from the trunk. So some of you big guys, you'll appreciate this part of the install. Put the seat down and lay on it and enjoy your install. Because trying to come in from the trunk, oh God, we don't fit. Okay, I'm going to get out and go around. I can get the rest of this hooked up. Here's another thing I want to point out about the install. What do you guys do with your extra wire? Do you just coil it up and zip tie it in place? Because that just doesn't look good. So I've got this much extra power wire that I could use towards a different build. I've got this much leftover wire for my remote start, and I've got this much wire left for my ground. It's not much for the ground, but it's there. So yeah, I don't see the point in having all this coiled up, because I mean that bunched up back there just wouldn't have looked good. So I got to get some coping, straighten that up. This is the way it's starting to shape up. I've got my mount for the compressor up top up there. Oops. I've got the wire coming in from power to go up. I've got it up and over this, and then that'll link to the pressure switch, and then here's the other part of the pressure switch that'll mount up, link up. That's all I got left to hook up onto that. So that means I can go ahead and get my tank bolted up and in. All right, let's go backwards. I'm laying down. Have you ever had a bolt in a spot that was so fucked up you had to screw it in with needle nose? Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Fucking one little quarter turn at a time. But I guarantee you this motherfucker gonna look good where it's sitting. That's why I gotta do it this way. Because this is where I want it. One little turn at a time. It's harder to do it with the camera on, of course. This is, I guess, dedication to install. I guess if I had the right tool, I could probably get this better, but I don't. So I'll get this one screwed in. that's it right there. It'll be a little bit loose, but once I get this one tightened in, it'll tighten the whole thing up. Did you see it? Could you see any of that? Anyway, we're screwing that one in right there. I've got it just about. Maybe I can get another little turn out of it. Well, shit, you guys can see I can't. I can't get a good grip on it anymore. There. I already did this one over here too. Now I'm going to get the front ones on. What I'll have to do is I'll have to slide the tank in, put the fitting right through there, get it through one side, and then slide it back in the other direction, and then I can bolt up the front ones. Boing. Alright, what I'm doing here is I'm using a piece of steel. I'm going to mount it like that. I'm going to make me a bend, a 90-degree bend. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to put that on my vise, and I'm going to beat it. I'm going to beat the hell out of it, little by little. And put it in here. Right on this. And then I'm going to get my hammer, and I'll slowly start beating that over. Alright. See? I bent it by hand about a quarter of the way, and then I just started hitting it along the edges. Just keep going until you bend it. And then it's exactly what I need. It's not 100% perfect, but it's going to hold that piece where I want it to. Now I just got to drill some holes. I'm going to round off the edges a little bit, and then I can mount it right there, and then that'll mount to the back of the trunk like that. So then that way you can see it when you open up the door or open up the trunk. There we go. There's those four. This is so I can mount it up top. That's going to go right up in there. And then the block will end up getting mounted to this. If you guys want to look at that at the next show and say, why didn't you clean it? It's so that you can ask questions. If you really want to get in there and look that hard at it. Alright, before I put the seat back up, this is from inside looking out. I wanted to show you guys what it looked like. There's a compressor and a tank, and this is the wiring that's going to go right down the back of the seat. It's all bundled up. I went ahead and put some coping on it to cover up all the different colored wires. That way it'll blend in. And there's the back side. There's the air dryer or water trap, and then it tees off, and both sides go straight to the valve block in the front. I've got these in the back on both sides where it connects to the front and back. Let me show you from the back now. What are you doing? Stuff? Trying to straighten out your car? I'm almost done. Got the switch box installed. Actually, right here at the back of the cup holder here, I've drilled a little hole right there. I don't know, you won't be able to see it. But anyway, there's a little hole drilled right there, and that's what I took this cable through. And then right on the back side of the seat wall in the back bottom, that's where I mounted the control box for the switch box. And then the wire goes along the edge and all the way out. That way it won't be able to get pinched. It is 8:30 at night, and I'm beat. Trying to make sure that this all looks really. So here we go. Let's look at this. Oh, right here. Airlines off that way, airlines off that way. They all connect in the back. Water trap is right there, and then the airline comes out, goes to there, and then the airline goes around the back side. You already saw that, goes to there. And then the controls are easy to get to right there. I just lightly tapped this to hold that where it is. And if something don't work, it's because it's not grounded. All I have left is to connect the battery up to it. I'm trying to put tools away as I go. That way I don't lose anything, because it's like literally starting to be dark out. So, trunk is done. I'm going to need this up front. And I'm going to need some more cutters and my water. Yeah. All right. So, let me get that done, and then I'll be able to play with the controls a little bit. I don't know how much you'll be able to see it. All right. Besides a couple minor air leaks. Close that. Get in here. Okay, up here. That's it. The Toyota 86 is now bagged. A 2020 at that. I don't even know how many miles we got on this thing. But thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I'm going to be working on the Toyota pickup next. That'll be, this is Friday night. So I'll be working on it all day Saturday and part of Sunday. And that's where we're going to be headed. Uh-oh, I'm all black now, huh? Can't see me. Here, let's go over here real quick.
Sorry if I'm shaky.
It's okay. Oh. So there it is. Comment at the bottom. I wish I could have gotten this done during the day so you guys could have watched it during the day. But yes, I'm like super excited. And we will talk to you guys on the next video. See you later.
Which one do I click?
The red button. Top.